Joining us now is Michael Adams. He's the country director for CARE Lebanon. Michael, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
And I understand you're coming to us from Beirut. You were there on the ground. I just first want you to describe the humanitarian impact of these strikes and what you all are seeing.
Great, thank you. Yes, indeed, we're having significant amounts of bombings that are happening daily now, even throughout the night. The impact has been, of course, primarily on the civilian populations. We're seeing thousands upon thousands of people that are fleeing the neighborhoods into other neighborhoods of Beirut itself for safety and security, and looking for shelter. These people are not in any way carrying their own family home goods. They are actually looking for food and shelter and water, and anything that will help provide some safety for them. The number of people that are moving is, yes, above 1 million people, and they're moving not just here in the Beirut area, but the Mount Lebanon area. And already the shelters that have been assigned by the government of Lebanon are full and overflowing with individuals in those shelters. We also see that there are a number of children. There's about 47% of the people that are in these shelters are children. So along with the movement of them going up the coastline towards northern Lebanon, they are also moving from the Bekaa Valley. That's heavily being bombed as well. And people are moving towards the coast, but they're also moving towards the Syrian border as well, and becoming refugees in Syria.
What are the greatest needs that you're seeing? I hear you mentioning basic necessities, food, water, somewhere safe to be. What kind of needs are you seeing that feel like the greatest need right now?
Well, as you can imagine, with this number of bombings, I mean, you literally are getting first aid issues. People are injured. People are seeking some sort of first aid. The city is well equipped, but not equipped enough for the number of people that are injured. We are seeing significant amounts of people that are just wondering about living in the streets, living in parks, families that are huddled together, seeking some form of shelter. They don't have food, they don't have water. And of course, we need to provide them with mattresses and blankets and pillows. Those are the essential needs that they all are needing right now. And because there are so many of them, it is overwhelming the existing systems and, of course, our ability to be able to meet all the needs as quickly as possible.
And I do wonder, are you able to that end to get aid supplies into Lebanon and actually distribute it to the people that need it? What kind of challenges are you seeing there?
We are, but there are tremendous stresses on them. I mean, the logistical value chain is actually very, very difficult right now. Since 40 years now, we've had a real economic crisis here in Lebanon, and we've also seen some challenges with goods coming into the country. The price of goods are escalating at a very high rate as well, so things are becoming unaffordable. Right now, we do see some stresses on the general communities. The supermarkets do have some supplies, but they are running out quite quickly. And so you can see that trickle-on effect all the way up the country as well. And it's getting worse in areas that are harder hit. In southern Lebanon itself, a lot of the markets are not working anymore. And so we need to have a new effort to try to sufficiently stock supplies as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. And as you're talking, we are playing some video, and in a lot of it, we see a lot of kids, a lot of children, women. It seems like they are being disproportionately affected by all of this.
Absolutely, women and children, girls especially, they're disproportionately affected as well. So they have, I guess, the most vulnerable levels of interaction with society, and even within the shelters themselves. We have to make sure that there is sufficient space for them as children and women to have access to safe spaces, even ablution facilities, toilets. All of these things are hard to come by in these shelters. So we need a tremendous amount of resources to be able to come in and ramp up these facilities so that they can actually meet the need.
All right, Michael Adams coming to us from Beirut, where the need for those civilians is great. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.